Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Alina, I'm a fiction author, self-published and totally into mystery, urban fantasy, paranormal, sci-fi and romance because I can't stick to one genre like normal people. And I hate myself, basically. Wow, that's quite the intro. You can tell it's been a while. So today we're talking about editing and how to make that experience easier on yourself. The reason why I decided to talk about it is because I've seen a lot of people complaining when they get to the editing phase. They don't particularly enjoy it, they dread it, and it's a whole thing. And a lot of people view all the feedback they get from editors as a personal slight when it's not. So after having gone through edits for, I don't know, over 30 books, I felt like I had some insight to share to help you make this smooth and fun and interesting. I'm not going to give actual editing advice, I'm just going to talk you through this process of working with an editor and not hating every minute of it. So I have a few points written down and I'll try to explain everything. So we will dive deep into how to make your editing experience smooth and fun and seamless, because that's the whole point. I realize calling it seamless is a bit of a stretch because it's hard work at the end of the day, but if you're heading into it with the right mindset, I think it can be a really cool part of creating your book. So the first point I want to make, and if this is the only thing you take out of this video, it's fine, but it's my top advice for anyone who's going through edits. Remember why you're doing it. The purpose of editing a book, whether you do it yourself or you give it to an editor to do it for you, is to make that book and the story better. That's the only reason you're doing it. You just want that story to be better. And an editor is going to show you how to do that and help you achieve your goal. So keep in mind, it's all about making the book better. It's not a way to try and prove to you that you can't write or can't craft a story. It's all about making it better. That's all, nothing else. My second tip for you is to find an editor you trust and you work well with. It's very important that you trust your editor's opinion, because when you trust them, you no longer feel like you have to fight them on any suggestion because you trust their opinion, you know they're right about it, you know they're telling you to do stuff just to make your story flow better, and then you'll do it. It will save you a lot of time in the long term. So it might take a few tries. For me, it certainly did take like 3 or 4 different editors until I started working with Nikki J. Marcus, who's here on YouTube, and Lindsay Fitzpatrick. And these two girls I absolutely love. Well, they're not girls, they're women, whatever. You get my drift. They both do both US and UK spelling if you need that. And they both do MF pairings and MM pairings, and they have extensive background in all the genres I write, which is great. And I found them, I trust them, so when they tell me to do something, I rarely start a discussion on it. I usually just do it. Even if I think, oh no, that's not right, I just sleep on it, and the next day I realize, you know what, they're right, so I should stop being a baby and just do what they're telling me. And I think it also saves time for them, because if I say something in return, like a comment or try to explain my stance, they know it's something that's important to me or something I did extensive research on, because otherwise I just accept their suggestions with no question. So it just makes things better for everyone. The next tip, the third one, kind of is related with the second one, and it's, if you strike gold, stick with it. So if you found an editor or a couple of editors that you trust and you work well with and your styles mesh well and you understand each other, just stick with those editors. Don't try experimenting with people you don't know and you don't trust, especially if you dread this process, because it's just going to make things more difficult on you. When you work with an editor for a longer period of time, I find that you have a certain rhythm, you do things a certain way, and bringing someone new into the mix will just throw that off and require you to just readjust, revisit everything, and start doing things differently, which wastes time and makes you doubt them, even if they're right in how they're doing things for, or it works for them. It's not something you're used to, and you don't want to work with someone you don't trust yet. And trust takes time to build, so, you know, just stick with the people you love working with and who, you know, help you create a better story without driving you insane, or without making you drive yourself insane too much. Because I still drive myself insane every time I finish edits, because when we're done, no matter what my editors say, when I submit the book for pre-order or when I publish it, I immediately decide I suck and I should stop writing. For reasons. My fourth tip on this specific topic is don't give yourself room to dread the editing. The more room you give yourself to have doubts and think it's going to be hard and that your book is terrible, the more time you have to actually develop those feelings. So just don't do it. You get edits from your editor, just jump in and see how it goes. Because sometimes Lindsay says, oh, in this book you'll have a bit more work to do. There are a lot of places where you should just tighten the plot a bit and the story and just, you know. And I'm like, oh my god, this is going to be awful. She thinks my book sucks and I'll spend weeks editing this. And then I realized I typically give her quite clean manuscripts, and she rarely has changes on the story itself. And depending on when in the series a book is, she might need me to straighten up the story so that it matches perfectly and it makes sense, it flows well. But if people have forgotten details, they get them in the book, or there are just chapters I need to take better care with, or bits of dialogue that need a bit of rewrite. And even if it's more work than usual, it's worth it in the end, and it's never as bad as I make it sound when I think about it too long. So my strategy is either start as soon as I have edits, or if I don't have time to do it right then because I have other tasks that need my undivided attention, just don't think about it. Just don't think about it. Ignore it until I start. And that way I don't have time to let my inner editor's thoughts about it fester and drive me insane. And it's great. I love it. And my fifth and final tip for you is do not expect perfection. You will never be done editing a book. There's always something you could do better, and if you want it to be perfect, first of all, how you define that perfect is an issue, because is it perfect for you, or should it be perfect for a random reader or for all of your readers, which is impossible. So make it the best you can make it, and then let it be. Don't stress about it not being the best book ever written, ever, because there's no such thing. Nobody can agree on that, and opinions change in time. So just make a minimum viable product that you're proud of, and you know you put your heart and soul into it, and you put enough time and effort to make it as good as you can get it, and then let it fly into the world. Anyway, I hope these 5 tips to improve your editing experience are fun and helpful for you. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and if you have other tips to share, also the comment section is always open. Thank you so much for being here with me and watching, and as always, if you feel like liking this video, give it a thumbs up. It does help me with the great YouTube algorithm that I don't know as much about as I should, because I didn't do my research. And oh, my website that I'm promoting unobtrusively on half the screen just went dark, but I'll get it back for you. So yeah, and if you haven't subscribed already, please do. I try to post at least once or twice a week. I sometimes disappear for months. I'm trying to be better about that. And yeah, that's it. I'm going to log out now and go back to the writing because I still have a bunch to do. And I will see you all very soon. Bye!